Hello, it is Lexi, and this is part 4 in our series of fresh pasta. And today we are making Garganelli. Garganelli is very similar to penne, actually penne rigate, as it has the ridges in it, but it is folded on the diagonal. So having been vegan for many years, I would always make a semolina water dough. But now, as I am vegetarian, I have been playing around a bit more with the egg dough. And I have to tell you that the egg dough did not hold up as well as the semolina with the shape. So I suggest to rather use a semolina water dough, and I will put in the description the amount to use. But it does need a firmer flour, and the semolina is a more coarse flour, and it definitely keeps the shape a whole lot better. So knead for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then a little touch of your finger on the dough. If it springs back, then you know that it is ready, and just cover it and rest it for about 20 to 30 minutes. So the sauce I made was very simple. I used onion and garlic, some mushrooms, some vegan sausage, and then just some tomato paste and some fresh tomatoes. You can use canned crushed tomatoes as well. And then with that, I just made a vegetarian ragu. So the mushrooms and the sausage then took the place of the meat in the vegetarian ragu. You always start off with some extra virgin olive oil in the pan and fry off nicely the onions and the garlic. Get the onions nice and brown, as it adds a natural sweetness into the sauce. I then added some salt, pepper, Italian dried herbs, and some paprika. As we are not using meat, and the vegetarian sausage, the mushrooms, doesn't have any fat in it, we need to add some more fat into the dish. So we definitely need to add a little bit more olive oil as we go along. So this is the mushrooms and the vegan sausage that I've just put into the blender. Sorry, not the blender, the food processor. Nice quick way to do it if you don't feel like chopping it up by hand. So now we want to let this cook until all the water in the mushrooms has evaporated. And once that has happened, then let it cook a little bit more so that it starts to brown and the flavor from the mushrooms comes out. And that's what's happened here. And I'm just deglazing the pan a little bit to get all that beautiful flavor that is at the bottom of the pan. So don't add too much water, just a drop, to just get all that beautiful flavor at the bottom of the pan. And I'm adding another drop of olive oil, not too much, just a little bit, as we need to now fry off the tomato paste. Always fry off the tomato paste in a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, just to bring out the best flavor. A splash of water, as the tomato paste is quite concentrated. And then our last ingredient is the fresh tomatoes, or if you choose to use canned or crushed tomatoes, that's perfect as well. I used about 6 big tomatoes. And then we just cover up and let it cook on low. The sauce was really delicious. The fried sausage added a lovely flavor into it. If you don't want to use any processed sausage, you could just add red or brown lentils, and that makes a lovely vegetable ragu as well. And we're into our fresh pasta now. So you need to make lasagna sheets first before you can make the shapes. Once you have got your sheets, then we need squares. So you can decide what size you want to do the squares, if you want to do them smaller or bigger. But just make sure that you measure it correctly, and you don't need to use a ruler or anything like that. You can eyeball it, but it needs to be a square. So generally I just cut the strips, and then I will just fold the corner of one strip over to make the first square, and then I measure it from there.
Non più tra i farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto a dolcino d'amor. Delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto a dolcino d'amor. Non più avrai questi bei panacchini, quel cappello leggero galante, quella chioma, quell'aria brillante, quel vermiglio d'onesco color, quel vermiglio d'onesco color. Non più avrai quei panacchini, quel cappello, quella chioma, quell'aria brillante. Non più tra i farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girando, delle belle turbando al riposo.
So you will need a gnocchi board to make the Garganelli. And as you can see, I don't have the little wooden stick or round dowel. So I've just used a pen here, you know, keeping it real in this kitchen. If you don't have the specific equipment, then just make do with what you have. But it's that easy. So you're just folding it on the diagonal, and it makes this beautiful, beautiful tube. Now, why the shape is so great with the ragu is that it gets into the center of the Garganelli and it holds onto the ridges. So it's a beautiful, beautiful shape to use with your ragu. This is a lot of fun to make, and you kind of get into a zone when you're making pasta. And I find it quite relaxing and therapeutic almost. And I'm sure your older children would enjoy doing this as well. They don't need to be perfect, as long as they are the cylindrical shape and that they hold well at the bottom, that they don't come apart. And look at that beautiful Garganelli. So all that is left is to now throw it in a pot of boiling water that is heavily salted and cook just for about 3 minutes. And you'll see from the pic that the shape did not hold up well, so definitely use semolina.